Well, welcome to the daddy of them all. What is possibly, I'm pretty sure, the most technically advanced motorcycle that money can buy right now, and probably in terms of the spec sheet as well, not just in terms of the tech. This is the Ducati Panigale V4 Tricolore. Not just any old Panigale V4, super duper special, pumped up version of the already brilliant V4. So, I've been quite jammy enough to have this bike in my possession for a short while, and as you can see, it's a beautiful day once again in the area where I live, and the nights are drawing in. We are officially, technically, in to the autumn season. So, while I still can, I thought I'd get out for one last trundle on this. Well, maybe not one last, there might be other opportunities, but yeah. So the Tricolore, God, where do you start? I suppose the best thing to do is just start with what it starts with, which is the new, for 2025, heavily updated Panigale V4. Most notable of which, of course, is the double-sided swing arm which the Panigale got this year, which is around 40-ish% lighter. No, not lighter. Less flex, less longitudinal flex than the old single-sided setup, which is what everyone wants these days, on track at least. And that, combined with the new front frame, which is also more flexible, you have yourself, plus the electronics, of course. They're the main chassis updates to the Panigale for this year, the main talking points anyway. There are a few little bits and bobs, of course, inevitably, but they're the two main things. Same engine, 1103cc V4, counter-rotating crankshaft, twin pulse firing order, Desmo valve train, absolute masterpiece in engineering. Electronics got a big overhaul on the Panigale this year as well, which I'll go through briefly, but I'll probably do another video on those altogether, because what I really want to do is just enjoy, really, one of those most special of special things, a special Ducati superbike, which this Tricolore is. So underneath it you got your Panigale V4S. So we have the electronic Öhlins EC 3.0 smart suspension, which is absolutely gold standard, of course. That was introduced originally on the Fireblade last year, I think. Found its way onto the Panigale inevitably, and rightly so. Absolutely brilliant bit of kit. I think that probably falls under the heading of things to cover off. I'll do a separate video on the electronics and the rider aids on this bike, because there is so much and so much depth within that. But we've got the Tricolore here, which I suppose, given the name, we should probably start with the Tricolore theme. How do you make something more Italian than painting it red, as per a normal Ducati Panigale? Well, you paint it in the colour of the Italian flag, red, white and green, of course, and you put a Dirty Great Rig number 1 on the front, and a checker flag on the bottom. That's how you make something even more Italian than just paint it red. The Tricolore gets the main highlights. There's kind of three things really, apart from the paint job, that you get with your Tricolore. Probably most notable, and actually probably most useful, over the base Panigale, are the carbon wheels, front and rear. Don't know if you can see them, hopefully you can. Carbon wheel, front and rear, as I say, takes a massive amount of weight off. Unsprung rate is reducing unsprung weight is absolutely king. Makes the bike turn easier, gives the suspension an easier time with its movement at both ends. So yeah, carbon wheels you get, and then the other thing you get are these monster Brembo 338.5mm discs, which, for context, we on the Batham's AJN Racing Superbike with Storm Stacey, we use smaller discs than that. Even his bike doesn't have discs that big. They are absolute monsters and properly thick as well. I think they're about 6mm, if my memory serves me. New Brembo High Pure calipers, which are standard on the normal Panigale, and we've got these snazzy sort of vents there. So wheels, ridiculous brakes. I think in the optional extras list, those brake discs are, I don't think they have much change out of £4 just for the discs, and the wheels are about £5. The other thing you get is the dry clutch, which is a proper racing upgrade. STM clutch there, always nice to see a dry clutch on a Ducati Superbike. I think that's a blood runner. Yeah, so dry clutch, wheels, massive brakes, and paint job. They're kind of your main highlights, and the Tricolore cashes in at £48, which is £18 more than your base Panigale V4S. And obviously there's some other carbon trinkets. You've got your mudguard here, trick rear sets. You don't get these on the V4S. Don't think you get that. Cover there for the exhaust, and the swing arm there. And speaking of the exhaust, you may have noticed this one has got the full titanium Akrapovic, depending on where you come from, I suppose, system on it, which Ducati claim takes it from 216 horsepower to 228. Yeah, because that's what you need. Massive weight saving as well. £8,000 price ticket. So this particular bike, which has been very kindly loaned to me, as I say, by a private owner, comes in at well over £50, and I think, and I stand to be corrected here, that this is the most the highest spec and the highest what's the word I'm looking for? This is the top of the tree, even compared to all the other super bikes. This is the daddy. Everything about this bike is excessive. You know, the electronics on it are, straight out of Ducati Corsa, and as I say, that's a whole different video there. But what I want to do is take this rare opportunity. Oh, you get a snazzy seat with this one as well. Alcantara seat. I think now would be a good time to climb on board, show you this dash quickly, and then go for a little trundle. So, very briefly, for track use only, that's because it's got the exhaust lit, you get posh, you can see that, little screen that lights up. Here's your new dashboard that the Panigale gets this year. I'm not going to go into a deep dive on all of this stuff because I think that probably warrants its own video. But so you can see over here you've got your rider aids, and with the switch gear here I can go down there. So the slide control, which you can go into and adjust, because that's what you need. Come out of that. Wheelie control, engine braking, ABS, traction control, back to slide control. So you can keep going around, dive into any of those and adjust. And as you come down, the ABS intervention, you can see it's there. It's taking the rear ABS off. So this bike's thinking all the time in the background. I'll just leave it there, just pick a number. I'm only going for a trundle up the road, not breaking any lap records. And then this left switch gear gets you into this little menu over here, where you can go into your settings, and like this whole world just opens up here for you. You can adjust your display, your vehicle, just when you get a cool picture. So come into the vehicle. So these are your sort of master settings. Service information and all that jazz. Advanced. What's an advanced? Riding mode setup. So at the moment the bike, as I talked to you, is in Road Evo. We can come into here and go Wet Evo, Default, Race A, B, Evo, Sport. Oh god, it just goes on and on. Could be here all day. And then your suspension. Active suspension, fixed suspension, that's for another day. Right now, I'm going to come out of all of that, hold that down, and we're back. So I'm going to leave it in Road Evo. I've got a mode button up here, look. So Road Evo, these are all my suspension settings that you get as default. Don't know if you can see that. Active comfort, brake support, front fork, shock absorber, steering damper, cruising, and these are my riding modes. All of which I can adjust as well and fiddle with. And then wet. So your riding modes are wet. Go back the other way. Wet, road, sport, race B, and race A. Power mode full. So if I go back to where was I? Sport gives me medium, power, road gives me medium. Let's just leave it where it was. Big green tick. Let's go. Oh. See if we can get this spun around. Go for a cheeky little trundle down this road, which is a bit of a regular shortcut of mine whenever I'm heading south. Right. So a special Ducati Superbike. Just what's it like? Well, you obviously don't need me to tell you it's fast in a way that you really don't need. Let's put some revs on for this tunnel. Don't know if you heard that. Road ahead closed. We'll not go that way then. Should we go this way? Yeah, I mean, it's really fast, obviously. They all are these days, and whether it's got 228 horsepower, 216 is completely irrelevant. See, like that, you just touch the throttle and boom, boom, you're off. The thing about this bike though, it's got that V4 engine, which is quite an interesting thing, because it's got this spaced out twin pulse firing order to sort of mimic a V-twin. I can't remember off the top of my head what the firing intervals are, but there's some big gaps in them, and so consequently when you're at low revs, if I let that drop right down now, for instance, when I go to 30, you can just feel it. Well, I don't know if you can see the mirrors kind of shaking, kind of slightly lumpy. But I like that, because it kind of has this split personality. have the sort of lumps, the low down lumps, and as soon as your revs come up a little bit, you need to watch it up there, a bit of gravel there. It was a bit sketchy on that corner. As soon as the revs start to come up a little bit, it kind of settles into a really nice balanced nice balanced, smooth, easy power delivery, dead smooth, you know. So you have this kind of split personality thing going on with the engine, which is kind of makes the bike really interesting. It's not just kind of like going and just metering it all out in a fairly sort of binary way. In a sort of fairly binary way, you know. It's got much more of a personality than that. But love that blipper. I've been down this road for ages. Used to do pictures here for PB once upon a time. Oh, it's got bumpy. But when you ride a bike like this, you know, it's on the road anyway. On the track, it's a serious bike, you know, and on the road, it's so serious you kind of can't take it too seriously, if that makes sense, because there's so much theatre around it that you know, it's every corner exit is just, you know, noise, action, drama. Thick bike. No pipes saves lives. So, yeah, theatre, drama, and you know, you can ride this bike kind of, I mean, we're on open roads here, so, but I bet there's people in this village here. Look, she's looking, she's waiting for me. She heard me coming from miles off. I don't know if you saw that, but let's see if I can get in the traffic here. He's let me in. No, he hasn't. There's a set of lights down here. I bet they're red. Give him a little wave. You just want to blip it when you see it, when you're next to a wall. It's so rude. Let's see if I can nip down to the front here. It's hot as well. I've only literally just stopped in this traffic, and the heat from that exhaust and engine is just coming at me. Let's nip in here. Hello. Wonder what Bob the Builder's up to there. I hired a digger like that once. Absolutely brilliant. Yeah, you ride a bike like this and it's obviously over the top. It's obviously far more than you'll ever need. I sure am glad they make it. I think what I'm going to do when we get up here, I'm going to turn left anyway, back onto little country lane, so I'm not going to overtake these people. I think the mic in my helmet is in the process of falling off, which some of you might say is a good thing. And you're probably right, to be fair. After all, this is Johnny Rides and Rambles. I never promised you an in-depth or detailed review. Yeah, I'm just going to pull over here and fix this microphone. Because it's, apart from the fact it's annoying me, it does also feel like it could fall out any minute. So bear with.
A few moments later.
Right, we're back in the game. My mic was indeed in dire need of adjustment, which I've done, and actually had a little bit of ducting tape left over, and not wanting to litter the place, I've just put there until I get home, so it's out of the way, and I'll put it in the litter bin when I get home. So where was I? Yeah, riding one of these is like, there's never a dull moment, that's for sure. So I've been up this road for ages. Rocking a racetrack's not far from here, actually. Getting left for dead by that. It's probably in every driver. Every? Is that what they're called? They don't mess about when they're out throwing parcels over people's hedges. Oh yeah. So Panigale V4 Tricolore. Yes, carbon wheels. They make a difference. Oh. Did you hear my teeth chatter there? And before I get onto the wheels, I don't know if you heard my teeth chatter. I hit a bit of a sharp bump and absolutely rattled my teeth. And that's the thing about these superbikes. Yeah, it is a serious bike. It is ultimately at heart a bike designed to you know, win superbike races. So it's ultimately it's a very uncompromising bike. This is not really a daily commute. You know, you've got to bring your A game to a bike like this, and the Panigale. Now, as it happens, I was on a Panigale V4S not too long ago, and can't believe how quick this guy's going in this van. And that was an eye-opener. I've not ridden a Panigale on the road for quite a long time, and I'm going to go left here. And it was a real eye-opener just how, I mean, there's so much, what's that gravel? There's so much emphasis these days put on how fast these things are, but to be honest, that conversation's boring now. What we're starting to see happen in this sector is these mega bikes actually develop other layers to their personality. So in the case of this, bike, it's the sheer amount of handling reserve it's got in its handling department. It's fucking hell, it's just bumpy down here. I don't remember it like this. Little humpback brake. Yeah, baby, love it. Should we send it? Don't remember that being that steep. Yeah, it's the sheer amount of reserve it's got in the handling aspect. I was going around this corner doing pictures on the other Panigale, not this one, a couple of weeks back, on this corner, and I remember going to that corner years ago when I was at PB, and it was at the time when I went there last, when I got to the corner to do this picture, I was like, oh my god, I remember this corner. It was quite sketchy. It's quite a fast corner. You stay there, kiddo. It's quite a fast corner, and you had to be doing a bit to get any sort of meaningful amount of lean. And there's gravel there. Oh, good job, I've got my 338 Brembo discs. Oh, boom. He looks like he heard me coming. And yeah, so, and it was. And then anyway, I went back on this Panigale a couple of weeks ago. I was like, oh god, I hope he gets the picture quickly here, because you've got to really go flying through this corner. Well, the bloody Panigale never even registered it, did it? It was just obscene how easy this bike went through that mega corner. What's this guy doing now? And I'm going to just drop back from him while I chat, collect my thoughts, because I don't want to get a stone chip off him. And yeah, it's amazing how these bikes handle that. And it's a combination of everything. I understand that. It's not just, you know, Ducati, they're all like that now. But this bike, with its geometry, the Olin suspension, the tyres, the combination of all of it, you know, even, dare I say it, you know, tiny details like that V4 engine with its backwards rotating crank, all goes into the pot. But this one, you stay there, this one with the carbon wheels does feel quite different to how that standard one I rode the other day felt. I'm going to be very childish in a minute if there's no one up here. I'm going to park under this bridge. And just that road I've just been down there now, it's mostly second gear, fiddly 90-degree corners, and you know, I've been flicking it through those with a lot more ease than I really have any right to. Not that the other Panigale doesn't do that as well. That was a bit ham-fisted by me. Apologies, viewers. But yeah, I hope you get a sense of the theatre that comes from riding one of these. Sketchy surface there. Now, I had this in, was it medium mode? Medium level, the engine was. And yeah, I think what I might do, just cause, I appreciate this video is probably quite long, I might just go back down that road just for a little while, back to the bridge and back, and not say anything. Yeah, I'll turn around in here. And I won't say anything, just so we can have a listen to yeah, okay, I'll shut up now. I think I'll pull in here and sign off. Well, what an absolutely magnificent bike on a glorious day. I'm not quite sure how to summarise this bike. Only to say really that I'm really glad Ducati are still making First of all, really serious superbikes. Superbikes are serious, they should be serious, and they are. And Ducati are making a point of moving that game on more and more, pardon me if you heard that. And I salute them for that, and please, long may that continue. Not that I suspect it won't, not in Ducati's case anyway. Furthermore than that, I also really must also further pay tribute to Ducati for making not just mega bikes in the first place and developing all aspects of the superbike, engine, chassis, electronics, the lot, but then to go another step and produce specials like this. Is riding it any more special than riding a V4S? In reality, probably not. You do notice the carbon dirt wheels, 100%. Can I make use out of them? Brake disc? Absolutely not. Has my span adjuster over here on the left been of any use to me today? Absolutely not. But I'm glad it's there, and I'm glad Ducati are making bikes with silly things like that on it, because, yeah, as long as they are, it gives me heart and comfort to know that there's people like me out there, in Italy at least, going to bed every night wondering how they can make, and that's the thing, there'll be someone over there at Ducati right now whose job it is to make that even better, handle even better, have better electronics, have better engine, not necessarily more power, but an even better engine. And that engine is spectacular as it is, and you kind of end up thinking, as you often do with these bikes, just how the hell can they make that any better? But bikes like this make me happy, because they reassure me that there is someone, or some people, in Ducati's case probably quite a lot of people, whose job it is to do exactly that and make this daft bike even dafter. So the only thing that is left to say, I appreciate it's probably a long video relative to all of my others, but I make no apology for that. It's a really special bike. There's not many of these around. There's even few of them available, belonging to people who are prepared to lend them out. So thank you to the owner of this one. So I really wanted to just properly, go big on this one. So I make no apology if you have made it this far in the video. Thank you. I hope you enjoyed it. And as is the done thing, of course, I should be asking you to look at that lovely red in the background. Give the video a little like, subscribe to my humble little channel, and I shall keep doing these unscripted stream of consciousness little ride-outs, little rambles, ride-outs and rambles. So thanks for watching, thanks to the owner of this bike, and most of all thanks to Ducati for having the balls and the customer base to produce bikes like this. Bellissimo.